We all know nobody can have 10 times our IQ. Well, then why the hell do people make 10 times more than we do, 1,000 times more than we do? Why? Because they think and dream bigger than we do. High performance people have high expectations, not average expectations.
And the best advice I've ever given anybody is just do it.
Perfection equals paralysis.
It's not what happens to you in life, it's how you interpret what happens.
Man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. We take too much time procrastinating.
Mr. Carnegie was a hard bastard. Vanderbilt was a hard bastard. Henry Ford I was a hard bastard. Rockefeller was a hard bastard. Steve Jobs was a ruthless hard bastard. As Apple CEO Cook regularly begins sending emails at 4:30 in the morning on Sunday, he's a hard bastard. Why are all these guys that changed the world got one thing in common? They're tough as nails, ruthless, take no prisoners. And then we got you. A stiff drink and a good kill most people in this room. My proceeds from PayPal acquisition were 180 million, blah, 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 blah. Then I had to borrow money for rent. These guys, myself included, are all in. If they believe in what they're doing, they put all their money at risk, which I have several times, not in recent years. Notorious workaholic Elon Musk is so tied to his office that he's been known to sleep on the floor. I slept on the floor. Ford slept on the floor. Jobs slept on the floor. Gates slept on the floor. Success leaves clues. I still work 50, 60 hours a week. And I haven't had to work in 35 years.
And as some of you have heard me say, but I'm going to say it again because it's important. For this example, again, we all have 100 IQ. For some of you, I'm giving you some. For some, I'm taking away some. We all know nobody can have 10 times our IQ. Well, then why the hell do people make 10 times more than we do, 1,000 times more than we do? Why? Because they think and dream bigger than we do. High performance people have high expectations, not average expectations.
The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he surrounds himself with. Now, if I were going to judge you or you or you by the guys you hang with, the guys you chill with, I think you're a retard. You hang and chill. Bill Gates does not chill. He does not go to the Super Bowl. Steve Jobs didn't hang. Why do you? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Most of you would be embarrassed to tell me who your 5 closest buddies are.
But does that look like your group? No, it doesn't look like your group. I mean, in no way, shape, manner, or form. You know, maybe if we had a bunch of bunny rabbits running there, it's unbelievable. But again, you are who you hang around with, you know? And as Oprah Winfrey says, and which I talk about a lot, is that you want people with a like mind and that are better than you, smarter than you, more intelligent than you to get on your bus. And don't be so concerned about what you're going to do with those people, but you want to, you know, the joint brain is, you know, there's nothing the joint brain, collective brain, or brains can't overcome. And if your team doesn't look like that, then you should, I won't say you should give serious thought, you should just change.
Prayer is great. Contemplation is great. But if you don't take action, 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 all the rest is wasted. And what the kids today have trouble with, they connote reading a book to taking action. And I'm not saying you shouldn't read, because I've read the classics, I've read Shakespeare and you know, all that stuff. But it's not taking action. Taking action is pulling the trigger, going out and making something happen. And even if you fail.
And the best advice I've ever given anybody is just do it. We take too much time procrastinating. And because we're afraid of failure, and fear is false expectations appearing real. We're worried about what other people think. We're trying to fit in. And I can go through a whole litany of bullshit. Now, it's not bullshit, this is not true. Litany of stuff why you are where you are, because you just didn't do it. But the bottom line is, if you had 15 years ago you had just done it, 10 years ago you had just done it, 5 years ago if you had just done it, 6 months ago if you just done it, you probably wouldn't be in the position you're in now. So I'm saying no matter what your age is, it's still time to just go out and do it. Just go out and do it.
Perfection equals paralysis. If you left it to engineers, no car would ever come off the assembly line. No car would ever come off the assembly line, and I've been in business with enough engineers, I can attest to that with my hand on my heart. They'd still be trying to make it better. You only have one time to make a first impression. The first impression is how you look. Now, I already know how I look, and you know how I look as well. Second impression is when you open your mouth. Most of you, with the greatest respect, can't speak properly. You stutter, you mumble, you sweat, and I can go on and on. I've learned to like the hot lights because I want to convey my message. So you go where there are people that you want to be like. You find somebody that is, and my whole basis is mentorship. Find somebody that is where you want to be 20 or 30 years from now, and go to him or her now. I had the presence of mind to be attracted to some very, very famous, very wealthy people in my 50-year career, and I went after them to, not for money, not for anything like that, but I just wanted them to talk to me and to share their wisdom. Man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. Man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. And I say, when I look at the audiences, and I know that maybe only 1% are going to achieve their potential. And it breaks my heart, because I know what you kids are capable of. I know I've had kids with 80 IQ to 180 IQ that I mentored that have done big deals. Actually, the 80 IQ did better than the 180 IQ. Okay, and I know what they're capable of, and I know how 10 million or 100 million or whatever the number is changes lives. And when you believe it, see, the true test of a leader is when you've trained other people to be leaders. It's in you, kids. I mean, you can do it. If you want it bad enough, and you stay focused and you're willing to maintain that commitment. Most of you have not attained material wealth because you've stayed in your comfort zone. A turtle can only move forward when it sticks its head and its feet out. And when it sticks its head and its feet out, it's most vulnerable, right? Biggest risk. Most of you have lived a bubble wrap life. Most of you have been risk averse. Risk averse to the extent there are people beyond my comprehension that get all the way through high school with never been screamed at, never been slapped, never been in a fight, never been reprimanded by their parents. And then look at them. Snowflakes. Snowflakes meaning they melt under pressure.
On November 8th, I announced that when Mr. Trump, whether you love him or hate him, this was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever seen since World War II. Now, what are you going to tell your kids and your grandkids 25 years from now when they say, gee, Daddy, gee, Grandpa, what were you doing other than having your thumb up your big ass during the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the world? What were you doing? Oh, nothing. That's what most of you will tell them, your grandchildren and your children. It's never going to get any better than this, kids. This is the, as I said on YouTube, the eye of the perfect storm. This is it. I never thought I'd live to see it again. This is going to make the 80s look like a nursery rhyme. And what are you going to tell your kids? Oh, I had a spreadsheet. I had to think about it. I had to read another book on Amazon. You have a template. You have a script that a monkey can read. That Alex wants a case study because he wants to know the shit behind it. You don't need any case studies. How many times do I have to say? You have the script. I said, don't change a word on the script. Not a comma.
If it's got misspelled words, send it out misspelled. The last thing you need is a case study. What gets measured gets accomplished.
Right.
Without measurement, you're just fooling yourself.
We have two bank accounts, like I said earlier, a financial bank account and an emotional bank account. And where we all fail, myself included, is emotionally. I get afraid, you know, but it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you react to what happens to you in life. But I just push through. I'm so used to success now, you know, not blowing smoke up my own ass. I'm so used to it now. It's my fact pattern. I mean, nobody's interested in the failures I've had last year. I had tried 22 different things that failed.
This is what I'm training you to be like. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. Warriors, not whiners. You think Donald Trump's a whiner? You think he worries and gives a what you think of him? You think Elon Musk gives a what you think of him? You think the late Steve Jobs gave a what you thought of him? The only one that gives a what is you.
To practice success before you're successful. One of the stories, and I know Peter remembers it, before I had any money, I used to go to the Rolls Royce dealers and sit in the cars and smell the leather, touch the leather. Follow what you're passionate about, what you love. It's not work if you love what you're doing. Okay. Most people, when I say they're living quiet lives of desperation, is because they're involved in a business or a job that they don't enjoy, they're not passionate about. Okay. So if you found something that you're passionate about, then it doesn't matter if you work 3 hours a day or 13 hours a day. That's where you start. And most people aren't there. Most people have to find that.
The person.
I'm 100% positive.
Okay.
You know, the most contagious thing in the world isn't a positive action, it's a negative thought. A negative thought. And because that can grow geometrically and kill deals, kill even companies for that matter. And so, but I'm extremely positive. Dress like the president or the prime minister of your country. You only have one time to make a first impression, kids. You come in looking like some of you, I wouldn't give you toilet paper. Most of you, I'd be embarrassed the way you're dressed.